Yeah, my name is Kale Kahi. Um, I have family all over these islands of Hawaii.
My name is Adam and I restore ecosystems and I love nature.
My name is Ahmad and I met Adam Ladig and I met Kale, and we were doing very simple but gratifying work together, processing trees that we were cutting down so that new light could enter in to the canopy and new trees could grow and new things that we were planting.
It's a really good idea. People need to have places that they can go to work with the food that they're eating, to cultivate the medicine that they need. And this is a need that is showing up as food costs increase, as access to local food becomes harder to find. This is showing up as a necessity.
That cultural understanding and spiritual understanding of stewardship was what led me on the path to learn about permaculture and agroforestry. I was like, what are these people doing? What is this stuff about? Because I had an understanding growing up about this give and receive, take and leave. And that's what ended up being invited to Happy.
Part of the necessity for planting other forests, planting other community projects is we need access to the plants and access to these systems to show examples of what's possible.
This started with a planting of the Tree of Peace on that land by a man named John Stokes, who has a tracking project. And I went there to give some prayers to this tree because I never heard of anything about the Tree of Peace before.
To plant a Tree of Peace here and to then also take responsibility to uphold that peace is something that we've seen should not and cannot be placed on the shoulders of a few individuals.
So if we harm nature, we're harming ourselves. Like, we could kill nature, but nature will always live. It's us that's causing damage to ourselves.
What I'm seeing happen time and time again with these landowners that are presenting this good idea, they're opening up their land to be farmed, to be cultivated for the good of the community, is that they have other agendas. They have agendas to create profit, to subdivide, and to sell. And so what has happened time and time again in my time in Maui is people that have opened their land for the community good, there comes a moment when that is cut off and their intention to create more housing developments or other things that are their own personal agendas take precedence over what their previously stated need of community involvement was.
Fear rooted itself in the place of where love should have been growing, and it started to take over. And so what we're doing right now is we're weeding. We're weeding an invasive species of limited belief systems that needs to be extracted so that we can get back to planting food and medicine and the things that we want to be cultivating.
So my concern is not that we have to revolutionize something, but how do we re-emerge from the compost of what already is here?
Functional, healthy ecosystems take a long time to develop. And once they're in a state of health, you can bring people into these places and explain the history, and so people can visualize it. We're visual people, and we need to see things to visualize them and realize them.
I'm not somebody who's big on revolutions. I think it's quite easy to get a lot of people excited about something and then put them out front and create a revolution, but what happens after the revolution is my concern.
And so we need access to the place so that we can interact with the place, and we also need the biological material, the cuttings, the seeds, and the biomass that is associated with these living systems.
Really just me going there was about tapping into this inherent part of myself that society doesn't give to me. Like, society, the civilization that we live in, is more about get into your cubicle or in your square box and look at nature on the outside and assume that you know it and conceptualize it. So I don't want to live like that. So I had to go out there and understand it more deeply, not just from my own cultural perspective, but what is this broader thing happening amongst the world, and how are we taking care of our environments? How are we actually tuning back into the natural world, the living world, in such a way